My first 4 months as a football agent, I contacted clubs and I got no reply. So I persisted to giving it a go. And 6 months into it, still another no reply. Then I discovered that, okay, something has to change here. And this is what I did that actually changed. And I started getting replies from football clubs and building my network. So here's the first thing I did. I went to just a normal football club, professional football club, and went there, knocked at the door and said, okay, can I just have a chat with someone at the football club here? And they said, okay, what do you want? So I said, I would like to just have a talk meeting with someone just to know how the club runs. And I was told, okay, the club is busy, but well, the the head of recruitment. Let me check his office. If the head of recruitment is a little bit having 30 minutes for you, and I will say, hey, if it is the head of recruitment, then that would be great. So went there, and they said, okay, the head of recruitment have let's say just 5 minutes with me, and then he came and said, how can I help you? And I said, hey, I'm a football agent. I would like just to know how the football club is run. Then I introduced myself properly, and then we booked a 1 hour meeting for the next day. So I came prepared the next day. So just to name a few of those questions I prepared, the questions were things like, what does it take for an agent to work with a football club? How do they conduct their transfers? What do they always look for when bringing a player to the club? And what are the general things that professional football clubs look? So I was not just only interested in asking him questions about their football club. Him working in that as a professional, I was interested in knowing more how the general football transfer system goes because he's the head of recruitment. So those were just few of the questions I did. So we did that. That meeting lasted just for an hour. But what I learned from that meeting changed everything. How I look at football clubs and how I see the operating system, how they operate generally, which before that meeting I didn't see. So I'm going to be telling you exactly how that meeting changed my brain and how it helped me actually starting to get good connections with football club and knowing what to say, knowing what to write to get contacts with, or to build my network with football clubs and keep growing. It's just from that meeting. The meeting was the base, but this is what I learned from that meeting. Without that meeting, I wouldn't, I would not be, I wouldn't have learned a lot about networking. So this is what I learned from the meeting. So the first thing I learned from that meeting is, as a football agent, is that before you want to contact a football club, you have to analyze. You have to analyze them. You have to. What do I mean by analyzing them? So you have to go looking for what the club needs. So a football club functions this way. They always, before they want to sign a player, they have done their research on that player, especially when it comes down to money, because finance is a huge part of football club. Football club is run as a business. So when they want to sign a player, they go into details. They have the data of the player. They try to look at the data, stats, and everything before bringing that player to the club. So that was what I learned, that I have to research the club. If I want to work with them, I have to research the club, look at the gaps, look at gaps where they need replacement. So if a left back wasn't good and they need replacement, I need to be talking about left back. So I need to watch that club, analyze analyze the players there, and then before going to solve a problem, it's almost like a problem solving. But before that meeting, the first thing I'll be looking at is just, if I have a good player, I just send it to a football club. I just send it to a football club. And when I wasn't getting reply, I was feeling like, okay, maybe I didn't know what to do. So I was getting frustrated. But after having a meeting, I discovered that, okay, there's more to it than just sending any kind of player. So that was the first thing I learned, that do your research, look at where they need, look at key position where they need to, where you need to, what the club needs actually. So don't send any kind of player. That was the first thing I learned. That is the second thing also I learned also just from that meeting was that to work with an agent, clubs have to trust you. They have to trust. If they don't trust your body of work, which they like to trust, that's the first thing. Then you have to find a way for them to trust you. The other way you have to find for them to trust you is by building that connection face to face, which is very important. So how do you build that connection face to face? That was what I learned. So instead for you sitting and sending them emails to a lot of clubs, they're never going to respond to those emails most of the time, because this is thing most sporting directors get spammed a lot with emails. So the first thing you can do is travel or find a way to meet those people working at that football club face to face, or arrange a Zoom meeting with them. That can help. But do not spam them and expect them to reply to make a $1 million transfer with you. It's never going to work. So I discovered that face to face connection is a big thing. So I started thinking, okay, how do I contact clubs? Those were the things that I was thinking, how do I contact clubs before? But now I discovered after this meeting that face-to-face connection is a massive thing. So if I have to work with a football club, the first thing I have to do is I have to try to meet them face-to-face to be able to build that connection with them, to develop my networking skills at a more better level. Last thing also I discovered also from just having that meeting was it doesn't it doesn't always have to be the sporting director that you contact before you can build your connection with football club. So if you're about to contact someone at the football club to start placing your players, it doesn't you can find the scout works at the football club. You can find someone working at that football club and start to build that relationship. One relationship can take you to knowing everyone at the football club. So that was what I learned also, because just after that meeting, what happened was I spoke to the sporting director saying that, can I just watch a game, and who is the head of their social media, yeah, and he took me straight to the social media person and say, hey, this is Brian and he's a football agent. He just came to have a meeting with me. You can and he told me, Brian, you can ask a question to him. And I went on communicating with the social media person, and out of a sudden we started exchanging contact, and he took me out straight to the first team coach. Like, you can watch training session here, and if you have a question, you can ask the first team coach over there, or the assistant coach of the first team. And when I was communicating also with the assistant of the first team, we started talking, and he felt that I had something to offer. So he said, I'm free to always come here to ask questions if I have time to come and watch a training session, and here is his contact number. So just from coming to interview one person, I already immediately learned that if you're in the environment, you can network already with the people around there. So just the fact that I knew one person, or I had been speaking with one person, gave me chance already to network with people. So you don't always need to start just with the sporting director or head of recruitment or whosoever. You can start with a lesser contact and build your network to reaching even the sporting director to start placing your players. So those were the things I learned that actually put me in a good position to contact clubs and develop my network, or starting to build my network into a higher level. So if you're an agent also frustrating from the beginning of the start, this is what you can do. Look at this video, watch it, and try to implement it. Or you can form your own model, but at least it's easy that you can implement this strategy. It works very well. Start to provide value. It's almost like providing value. Go speak to people at football clubs, or try to have a way to communicate with people at football club. Then face-to-face connection, as I discovered, is a key. This is going to help you a lot. And from there, you can build your network to placing your players. Because as a football agent, if you have players and you don't place them, at one point in time, those players are going to leave you. So this is very vital information that you can use in developing your network and growing your network at a higher level, so that you can start placing your players at football clubs. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I'm Gaucho Brian, FIFA licensed agent living in Finland. I help football agents build their connection with football clubs. So if you're an agent struggling with this, and also you want a mentorship practical approach, you can book a mentorship call with me, and I'm going to take you through step by step. And we're going to speak about the club you want to contact. We're going to do analysis on that particular club, and then we find a way how I'll tell you what you can do and how you can go about it. Okay. And if you wish to join my school group, my school community, which is a community that I teach agents on how to build their network, the link is below. You can also join. Okay. Take care and speak to you later. Bye for now. Cheers.